Justice. I work for the County Office of Education, and I support all of the tobacco prevention work across the county. And I'm going to provide an update about what we do and where we're going and the opportunities that are already being implemented in John Sweat and what's possible. And I want to give a shout out to Maya Nelson, who's our TUPE site coordinator at John Sweat, as well as Margaret Nunes at Willow, and then Jessica Shotwell at Carquinez. They have been awesome. This year is their first year, and they're just exceeding our expectations. So, next slide. So this is our team at the county office. There's 7 of us. I like to share that photo because when I started at the county office in 2011, it was myself and a part-time admin. And so we are 100% grant funded. And so we have worked really hard to get the resources to support all of the districts in our county in a variety of different ways. And there's a link to the site. You can check it out later for more information. So next slide. So what's nice about our work is that tobacco use prevention education, it's pretty clear what our primary goal is. Does anybody want to guess what our primary goal is? Right? Okay. So if you want to click, so it's to reduce tobacco use, right? And when we say tobacco, we mean all tobacco products, including e-cigarettes and vape pens, which, you know, in the state of California are classified as tobacco products. They count. So it's not just kind of our traditional combustible products like cigarettes, little cigars, chew tobacco, but also e-cigarettes and vape pens. However, our other kind of coupled with that, we're trying to reduce a problem, but we also have the opportunity to really empower young people in leadership roles. And so thinking of the opportunities we have to increase school connectedness, increase student engagement through the work that we do. Young people are not the problem with regards to tobacco use, they're disproportionately impacted by the problem. And so we really approach this issue both through a lens of social justice, that certain communities are targeted more than others and impacted more than others, but also that young people are our partners. They aren't just recipients of services. So next slide. So that's just a photo of 3 of our Youth Health Coalition members, which is a countywide youth leadership group at a Board of Supervisors meeting where they successfully, the board actually passed a flavor ban in unincorporated Contra Costa. So next slide. So as I'm going to assume everybody in this room knows, there's no safe level of cigarette use, right? It is harmful to our health. Young people, adults, everybody knows that. This is data countywide regarding the use of cigarettes among, so the different colors are 7, 9, 11, and then our non-traditional school students, such as Willow, so our continuation, alternative, necessary small schools. What you'll notice is that we were doing a really, really great job of decreasing combustible tobacco use, right? So to almost nothing at the middle school level. We were pulling some recent data for, I think it was for Martinez middle schools, 0% of students are reporting cigarette use. The caveat I want to make though is that this is students overall. When you start to unpack the data, we start to see some disparities among student groups. But overall, again, we were doing a really great job. Then what came along? E-cigarettes, right? When I started the county office in 2011, I didn't know my work would look like it does now. I thought I was like working myself out of a job, right? Because of this trajectory. And so it's both a challenge and an opportunity because all of our funding is tobacco tax dollars, which means as we are successful, there is less tobacco tax dollars coming through. Thanks to Prop 56, e-cigarettes are now taxed, and there was an increase tax in California on cigarettes, so there are more resources available. But ultimately, we're trying to reduce, obviously, that use. So next slide will show, so this is in 2018, the first column is any tobacco product. So even though we've seen great gains in reducing cigarette use, if you look at all products together, driven largely by e-cigarettes and largely by the most popular products for young people, which are pod-based systems like Juul, Puff Bar. There's a Wave is the newest one we're seeing, as well as Puff Bar, so-called Plus or something like that. So we have actually seen an increase overall in tobacco use among young people nationally, statewide, and locally. So even though, again, we've seen certain products decrease, we've seen a huge increase in the newer products on the market. So next slide. I know this is really small. I realize that in hindsight, but you have access to these slides. So this is current e-cigarette use for this district. So this is over time. So from 2016 is when we started measuring e-cigarette use rates. We saw a decrease between 16 to 18 across the county, which was awesome. And then in 2018, Juul came out, and we saw another spike in use, more than we had seen at any other time. And I want to draw your attention to grade 9. And this is what we're seeing across districts, not just for this district, but that's really where we're seeing this increase in current use. This is young people who report use in the past 30 days. Next slide. So what are we doing about it? You can click, and you can keep clicking for a little bit until we get to a map. There we go. Okay, so this is the map of our county. The color-coded dots are based on the funding that is currently available for districts. John Swett is what we call a Tier 1 district, which is fairly minimal funding. It's to support the administration of California Healthy Kids Survey. It's to support maintaining tobacco-free school policy, which is a requirement, but it's very minimal. So our opportunity and what we were able to kind of leverage some other resources for this year was upgrading the district to a Tier 2, which is comprehensive program support. So what we provide to every district in the county is things just countywide general support. We convene districts' community partners. If the district reaches out for support, we try and connect them with resources they need. We provide training around doing the Healthy Kids Survey. We certify our districts as tobacco-free. And we provide presentations, trainings as requested. The comprehensive program is really the exciting piece because that's the programs and services for students. So that's classroom-based prevention, that is intervention and cessation for students who are currently using, that is youth development, which is our peer-to-peer program. And so each of the secondary schools in John Swett currently has a team of peer educators who've been trained to do peer-to-peer work, to do classroom presentations, school-wide events. So that's the piece where we're really building up that youth leadership component. And what I found in the years doing this work, and we have 500, 600 peer educators across the county each year, is that for many of these students, it becomes their thing, right? Like I was hearing students talk earlier about their thing and the thing that they're really passionate about. And for many of our students, this becomes their passion. We have students who go on to college and we're able to connect with college level work around health. We have students who are now getting their degrees in public health and in nursing because they got connected in with this work and felt so passionate about it. So that's what gets me the most excited. So next slide. So the resources that are being provided. So we provide a site level stipend for a site coordinator, typically a teacher or counselor on campus, to be our person on the ground connecting with students doing the work, getting direct support from our team. We provide materials. I just filled up Leslie's car full of materials for Willow. There's some lungs out there. There's all sorts of fun stuff. So we provide all the materials needed in order to implement programs.
Really don't get pulled over.
We should have brought them in and set them up. Healthy, unhealthy lungs. Okay, student incentives. So we do for our peer educators, they have what we call benefits of belonging. They have sweatshirts, they have wristbands, lanyards, stuff that identifies them as tobacco use prevention, education, peer educators, as well as student incentives that they can then also pass out, not candy. I'm with you. But like little items that just help with that student engagement. We send hundreds of students to a regional Teens Tackle Tobacco conference at UC Berkeley. We provide no-cost training for adults, and also adults have the opportunity to attend conferences both within our county as well as regionally, and then just ongoing support. For the district, so especially for a smaller district such as John Swett, the funding for TUPE is based on average daily attendance. It doesn't matter what the need is, the rate is the same per student. So it really puts our smaller districts at a disadvantage because it's hard to provide the same level of service as a Mount Diablo or a San Ramon with such limited resources, even though much of the cost is the same. And so what we're able to do at the county is leverage those resources across the county. So we provide grant management, everything from the grant, the needs assessment, grant writing, through the application, through coordination, through reporting and evaluation. We fund the Healthy Kids Survey, which gives us great data not only around tobacco use and other drug use, but also school climate and school connectedness. We reimburse for subs. I know there's sub shortage, so this is kind of a touchy subject. However, if people are able to get a sub to come to a training, TUPE pays for that sub. And then just ongoing training and support. We started a new presentation and training request form, which has been both a success and a challenge, because now that we made it super easy for people to request support, people across the county are requesting tons of support. So we have something like 56 parent ed nights, on-site trainings, booster trainings for peer educators we've done this year, and I think last year we maybe had 20. So we've definitely streamlined our processes so we can provide better support to districts and schools. Next slide. So our next steps, we're continuing to kind of pilot the programs at Carquinez, John Swett, and Willow. And then my primary goal in the next, by March 18th when I press submit, is to secure our funding for 2020 through 2023. And we do have a 100% track record for Tier 2. I don't want to be too confident, but we're being asked to pilot things by the state. So in order to pilot things, we have to be funded. So I'm fairly confident that we'll continue to be funded to do this work and ultimately support programs and services for students as needed. So next slide, I think, is my thank you. A link to our site. One other resource that I want you to know about, we created a 6-part video series specifically on e-cigarettes and vape pens. It features local experts, including young people, and no videos over 4 minutes. And it's completely available for free. There's some supplemental resources. It's for everybody to use, because we realized even though we love the request for parent ed nights, our team can't be everywhere. And so coming up with additional resources that administrators, that our peer educators can use, that parent groups can take back and share. So
Are those online?